Today's topic of discussion is using teaching learning resources in social science. This topic has been taken from one of our B.Ed course, that is BES 142, Pedagogy of Social Science. For discussion on this topic, today we have with us Professor Niraj Kumar Das. He is the former Director of School of Education and actively he has involved in the development and transaction of various programs developed by School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University. I welcome you, sir, to this program. As you know, teaching learning process is a very planned and systematic process. You see, when we plan a lesson, we select certain methods. For teaching, we select certain methods, certain techniques, and we also adopt a strategy. Here you see, let we are using lecture method for teaching our students. Here you see, this is the general assumption that lecture method is just like a one-way method, means the teacher will do most of the things and student is more or less passive in the class, that they are the receiver, but very few scope is there to do something in the classroom. But here you see, many a time you must have observed that though the teacher is using a lecture method, still then the teaching is very interesting. So how can a teacher make his or her lesson more interesting, make it permanent? If I will say, if you will remember your school days, you remember your teachers, those have in a course of time, those have taught you. So I think you must have remembered few teachers because their teaching methods, their teaching strategies, the ways they were dealing with the students, the things, and you can say the materials and the other related things, the resources that they were using in the teaching learning process in the classroom, which is a type of very interesting. And at this moment, today also you are not forgetting that situation, that experience. So that's why for making teaching learning process more interesting, permanent, there is the scope for using learning resources. Teaching learning resources means we can use varieties of teaching learning resources to make our teaching interesting. यदि हिंदी में मैं कहूँगा, जो हम कहते हैं, जो चीज को मैंने सुना, कुछ दिन के बाद उसे मैंने भूल गया, थोड़े दिन याद रहा, उसके बाद भूल गया. जो चीज मैंने देखा, क्योंकि जब सुना मेरा एक इंद्रिय वहां व्यवहार हुआ, पर जब मैंने एक चीज को देखा, मेरा सुना और देखा, दो इंद्रिय इसमें मेरा व्यवहार हुआ, और तब बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने याद रखा, और जो चीजें मैंने भूला, धीरे 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 उस चीज को भूला. पर जब मैंने कुछ किया, व्हेन आई डू समथिंग, मैं इन्वॉल्व हुआ, कुछ डेमोन्स्ट्रेट खुद मैंने किया, क्योंकि यहाँ मल्टीपल सेंस ऑर्गन मेरा इन्वॉल्व हुआ उस काम करने में, तो उस चीज को मैंने कभी नहीं भूला. सो दैट्स व्हाई हमारा जो टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस, इफ देयर इज द स्कोप टू डू समथिंग बाय द स्टूडेंट, टू इन्वॉल्व द स्टूडेंट, टू एंगेज द स्टूडेंट्स इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग बाय यूजिंग डिफरेंट लर्निंग रिसोर्सेस, then we can make our teaching very interesting, learner-centered and permanent. I would like to say that what are the learning resources? Just like you see, as I have already given a hint that there is the scope for using varieties of objects and materials in the teaching learning process. By using the materials, by using the objects, we can make our teaching meaningful. Then we can also use people, person, they are also learning resources. Sometimes you must have remembered that during your school days, during your college days, many a time your teacher, they must have invited certain person, some experts. So when we are inviting the experts for deliberation on some of the important topics, then we can say the persons those are involved in it, they are also a type of learning resources. Then in instructional aids, we also use varieties of instructional aids for making our teaching meaningful. In instructional materials, we give instruction by using audio-visual aids, by using nowadays highly we are using internet. So when a teacher use multiple media, then definitely teaching become more interesting, more meaningful and permanent. Then common learning resources, as you know, as a teacher, these are the common things what we get in our classroom. Maybe you can say we are getting a blackboard or a whiteboard, chalk, we can write something. Okay. So these are the common learning resources that usually we use. Then important places, sometimes you will find, as like the material, we also take our students out of school, out of the class to get certain experiences. So when we will use such type of learning resources, we can make our teaching learning process more interesting. So I would like to ask Professor Das that what is the need of using these learning resources?
Thank you, Dr. Dey. As you have rightly mentioned, that learning resources play a very important role in the teaching learning process. As all of you know, that whenever a teacher plans any kind of teaching learning activity, he has certain instructional objectives or learning objectives. And these learning objectives direct him or her to decide about the content to be taught, then the kind of methodology to be followed, the kind of methods, strategies or techniques of instruction to be followed during the classroom instruction. But along with these methods or strategies, another important component is the kind of resources, the kind of teaching learning aids or the kind of media. All these, when we say teaching learning aids or teaching learning materials, teaching learning media, all these can be clubbed under very broad title called learning resources. And the teacher also decides the kind of learning resources to be used for transacting the kind of learning experience to be imparted in the classroom. Now the question is that why should a teacher select this learning resource? As I have already told you, the first objective is to achieve the learning objective. The first is to achieve the learning objective. For example, if a teacher of biology or science is teaching about human heart, whether the students they have really understood the different chambers which are there in a human heart. If the teacher follows a lecture method, okay, through lecture method he can say there are these four chambers or something like that, or these things. But unless he really draws a picture of a heart on the blackboard, really it doesn't strengthen his teaching through lecture method. Therefore, he adopts some kind of picture. But very often it is very difficult to devote time during a 40 minutes of classroom period to draw complex picture of a heart or human body or something like that. Therefore, what the teacher does, procures ready-made learning resources available in the market, or he or she herself or himself
can make it also.
Can prepare in advance the type of picture, the kind of map or something like that to be used in the class. So first objective is to achieve learning objective. Second, when we use any kind of learning resources, whether it is a picture or a model or a diorama or any other chart, any kind of learning resources, even your slides, PowerPoint slides or some kind of internet resource, they provide accurate information to the learner. Then use of multiple senses. Learning resources, they pertain to all domains: cognitive, affective and psychomotor. If learning resources, for example, an audio program or a video program where voices of the teacher experts is there, or some dramatization is there, it can also reaches out to the senses, different senses of the learners, audio sense, visual sense, and any other sense. Then readiness to learn. This learning resource really equips a learner to benefit from the learning, and it prepares him to be ready to benefit for learning. Then, of course, when you are giving some kind of learning resource and it provides some type of real experience, which for example, if you show a picture of a river, it will give a sense of as if the student is visiting a river. The real experience, and it of course makes teaching learning effective. Then learner learning at own pace, because when a picture is shown, a model is shown, or something is done by the learner, learner can do on his own space or on his own space or on her own space. So these are different benefits of learning resources. Therefore, there is a need of using learning resources.
Well, teaching learning process more interesting and permanent. Then next, let us discuss some of the examples of learning resources that a social science teacher can use in his or her classroom. Let us take the first example, that is a teacher can use Realia. That is, let the teacher is teaching history. Okay. So here she can use history that is also on different types of coins. So here she can use the Realia. He can take directly coin to the classroom, and he can also show in a 3D picture. If audio video facilities are there in the classroom, the teacher can also exhibit in the classroom for making his or her teaching more interesting. Teacher can also use diorama. This is a 3-dimensional, you can say, like a type of model, which can be prepared by using the thermocol and other materials. So by using such things, the students will get whatever we are talking earlier, the needs of using the learning resources to make teaching learning process, you can say, real. So though we are not taking the students to the real place, still then they are getting a type of experience that the size of the things, they can touch it, they can feel it. So by using Realia and a diorama, we can make our teaching learning process real and interesting. Then after, for teaching history and for teaching other subjects of social science discipline, we can use maps and globes. Okay. So using map and globes for teaching geography, history even, you will find that these are the common learning resources, highly we are using. But you see, when there is the scope for using map and globes, why not we use map and globes? Rather, we should use map and globes. Sometimes we have experienced that there is the scope for using learning resources because of paucity of time, and you can say, and teacher, they don't want to do the effort, they are not using the learning resources. So that's why, if we will be little bit resourcefulness and if we will do the effort, then definitely we can find out many learning resources, we can make it also, and we can get it from the library. Okay, and we can use it in our teaching learning process. The next, teacher can also use models. That is also a type of learning resources. So when we are using the model, two types of models can be used. One is the static model, which will show the structure, okay, the chronology. If you want to show the chronology of something, then we can use a static model. And if we want to give experience to the students, a type of working experience to the students, that how the things operate, how the thing is working, then we can also use certain working model. So here question is, where to get the working model and where to get the static model. Static model teacher can prepare. Working model most of the times you will find that a working model is available in the schools, and sometimes if you will guide the students, they can use better working model. And as a teacher, by working together with the students, you can also develop certain working model. Then the other resources that we can be used, that is flowchart, sometimes for teaching economics we can use, or for other subjects also, geography, we can use flowchart, we can use pie graph, okay, crop population, you can say literate and illiterate, education in a country, the education position. So such type of things we can also show by using a pie chart. We can also use cartoons, for initiating a type of discussion in the classroom. You will find varieties of cartoons are available. Okay, that cartoon may be a political cartoon, that may be a simple cartoon showing any social reason, by showing any political things, any political movement you can say. So by using political cartoon and other types of cartoon, we can also make our teaching learning process more interesting. We can also use photographs. Many photographs are available. You will find it is available in the internet, and it is available in the newspaper also. So we can use photographs, we can use artifacts. Direct artifact is not available in the school. We can show the picture of the artifact to the students. We can use the timeline. Let we are teaching civilization. So we can show that during a civilization, what are the major events, what are the major incidents has been happened. When we are teaching history, we can use such type of timeline, that in which age, in which period, what has happened. So timeline can be used as an effective learning resources for teaching a subject like history. The learning resources like textbook and reference book. So textbook also we can use. You see, every time textbooks, teachers, they shouldn't confine themselves for reading only one textbook. Rather, many reference books are also there. So with the textbook, if the teacher will read the reference books and use it in the classroom, then the teaching will be more interesting and more informative also. The newspaper cutting, here you see on your screen, this is a newspaper cutting on India independent British rule ends. Means this is the newspaper of Hindustan Times in 1947. So if your topic, if there is the scope of your topic for such type of discussion, for such type of information, so why not you collect the newspaper which may be available in your library and make your teaching learning process more interesting. Museum, you can take your students to museum. That is also one of the learning resources. They will get direct experience. Then educational movies, they can learn many things from educational movies. If there is the scope, then if audiovisual facilities is there in your classroom, nowadays you will find such facilities are there in the classroom. So use the audio clips, then the educational movies to make your teaching more interesting. Then internet, nowadays internet is highly used. You can use the Wikipedia. They can get many information about the universe, about the animals, about the forest, about the river, about the mountain. They can get more and more information, knowledge. Then Britannica, they can also go through the Britannica, that can be used. Then different, you can say the TV channels like Animal Planet, Discovery and other channels. From there also they can learn something. Then Incredible India, if they want to know about good things, about the important things of our country, they can go through this website. They can go many websites, MHRD website, different education website, university website, National Institute website. Then we can also use MOOCs, Massive Open Online Courses. Okay. If you are teaching about the different, germination. So how germination happens? Water conservation. What is the concept of water conservation? So here also, by using small MOOCs, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours MOOCs, we can use it as a learning resources. We can use open educational resources also. So these are the certain things that can be better used for making our teaching learning process more interesting, more permanent, and students can remember these things for a long time. I think the learners, those are watching this program, they must have received an idea that how these learning resources can be better used for making their teaching learning process more interesting and permanent. Thank you.